A community service is the heartbeat of positive change, and with individuals across diverse communities here in Nova Scotia embracing the spirit of giving back. And one of such persons with me in the studio today is Elizabeth Obeng Nkrumah. She is a healthcare practitioner, a member of the Ghanaian community here in Nova Scotia. It's good to have you in the show.
Thank you very much.
Right, very briefly, our viewers would like to know what's going on in your world. What do you do? And beyond healthcare, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a registered nurse, currently working for a program that takes care of Black people here in Nova Scotia.
Right.
And aside of that, I do a lot of work for the Ghanaian community as the president.
Right.
I believe in giving back, like you said. I also support internationally educated nurses who are going through licensing in any capacity that I can.
That's interesting. And you also mentioned pre-interview here about some of the community services you do, some programs you put up for seniors within the community, and some of the things you're probably looking forward to. Touch a little bit on that too before we proceed.
Right. We do want to take care of our seniors. Coming from Africa, we give a lot of respect to the elderly.
That's right.
When they are healthy, we are healthy too. So in light of that, we have put up some programs for the seniors. The first one was on exercising and being active. The second one, we want to do a little bit on mental health, especially at this time of the year when it's so gloomy and blue. And so we're having an event today, actually, where we have a therapist coming in and they'll be doing some artwork and talking about some things that they could do around their mental health.
This is very interesting, given that you're coming up with programs for that section of members of your community that we seldomly think about, because they are old, and that is African to think about them. But let's delve into the healthcare services and say, what are the specific initiatives or programs that you currently working on as far as healthcare services, is it, to the Black community?
Right. So I work for the Nova Scotia Brotherhood and Sisterhood, which is under the primary healthcare program under Nova Scotia Health. And basically what we do is to provide health and wellness for Black people.
Right.
And when I say Black people, it cuts across all. Once you have African ancestry, we take care of you. So for the program, we have a physician who is attached to the Brotherhood and to the Sisterhood. We have a clinical therapist who provides counseling.
Yeah.
We also have a social worker. We have a nurse. And we do various programs in the community, including mental health, physical health. We believe that health is beyond physical, actually, because sometimes we forget that you could be physically fit, but there's so many things going on.
Yeah.
And so we focus on the social determinants of health.
Right.
Understanding that there could be something else going on that probably is impacting you physically. And so we try to take care of that.
Elizabeth, we've had conversations around the healthcare, especially for our community. And one of the things that sticks out most of the time is disparities. Any such thing as that? And what do you think your group could do to fix that gap that we have there?
Thank you for that question. And that is the reason why we have the Brotherhood and the Sisterhood, because historically, Black people have been discriminated against. People seeing a lot of discrimination when they go into the healthcare setting. Depending on who they meet, they could have answers to the questions that they bring in, or they could leave mentally impacted by how they are treated when they go to seek help in the healthcare setting. So our program is such that we listen to what you're going through. Some people may have healthcare providers, but they would like a second opinion because they probably have complained about one particular symptom over and over and haven't been heard if that's how they feel. And so when they come to us, we listen and we try to help them navigate the healthcare system, which can be very complex, especially for someone coming from away and you do not know where to go for a test or who to contact and who to see. We are there to help you navigate that.
Right, but are there other instances where, in your experience, with maybe your interaction with people around your sector, your specialty, Are there instances you want to share with us around how they've felt unfairly treated within the healthcare service sector?
Yes, there are some. A typical example was someone who went to the Emerge so many times, and she was dismissed every time she went, and when she came to our program, immediately she was sent back by the physician and went straight to the operating room to have a heart surgery done.
Okay.
And so these are some of the stories that make us want to do what we do. And we always say that you are the best advocate of your health. If you feel that you're not getting the answers that you want, you have to go a step further. And that could be coming to us to help you advocate for yourself.
Mm.
Or you keep asking questions and you keep going back. You nag them till they give you what you want.
Yeah.
Because I come to realize that if you look at Serena Williams, who is a well-renowned tennis player,
yeah.
she had to advocate for herself.
That's right.
When she was pregnant. So that is the kind of challenge that we face as Black people.
Yeah.
And so we need to keep talking and advocating for ourselves.
You've used this word over and over again. I'm excited to hear you use it, advocacy. And of course, advocacy is speaking for those who do not have a voice. But are you collaborating with groups and, agencies of some sort to be able to help in this area of healthcare delivery within your community?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of partners, we call them, because we cannot do this work by ourselves.
Right.
And so for the Brotherhood and Sisterhood, for instance, we do sit on a lot of boards and committees. We join the courts as well. For instance, we do go to domestic violence courts.
Wow. Okay.
We go to the Dartmouth wellness courts because there's some people who are mentally ill.
That's right.
And then they commit a crime and they need help, right?
Yeah.
They need to be seen as ill instead of as perpetrators of a crime.
That's right.
And so we go there, we advocate for them, we partner with the courts to be able to meet the folks where they are at. And in that process, sometimes we have to come up with programs that are Afrocentric.
That's right.
And make it a safe space for them to be able to meet the demands of the courts. Yeah. We also work with Health Association of African Canadians in providing some services to the community. Yeah. We try to hold a lot of health fairs. We had one in September, and hopefully we'll have another one. And also the men have a conference every year.
Oh, really?
And actually there's one coming up in March.
What would they be discussing in men's conference?
In the men's, you
I'm
see,
curious.
that is the thing, because they say that men don't like to talk.
All right.
Especially when it comes to their health.
How are you going to make them talk?
So it's a safe space with only Black men.
Gotcha.
And the facilitators of the discussion are Black men.
Okay.
So you go in, you see your own brother, and he's telling you need to get your prostate checked.
Oh, yeah.
Annually. That's a safe space. And so the conference comes on every year, like I said, and it's a space for the men to come out and just talk about what they are going through, their health. And because we look at the social determinants of health, we could be talking about finances. Because if you don't have money in your pocket, you could be feeling very sick.
I agree.
And so we talk about finances, we talk about crime, we talk about how that impacts Black men, police, racial profiling and all that. So
that's right. So it looks as if you guys are doing much more than one would typically see you on the internet or your platforms and stuff. But let's talk about a little bit about the community. I mean, the Black community here. I've told you that we've interviewed a lot of people and we get different opinions and perspective to, why we look disintegrated, right? What do you think is lacking within the Black community here? How can we foster unity, foster economic growth, foster that oneness and collaborative attitude among the Black people? Because you are a leader of a section, right, of the community.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, I will go back and talk about a proverb in Ghana that uses the broom as an analogy, where if you take one broomstick, it breaks.
Easy to break.
But if you put it all together, it's hard to break.
Impossible.
So I believe that we need to come together, right? There is no way we can keep fighting among ourselves when we are all the same. But it will take time. And it will take us coming a lot of roundtable discussions to kind of see what colonization has done to us.
That's right.
Because if we cannot see that as a people, we will always keep fighting over the crumbs.
Yeah.
And I say what we get is the crumbs.
That's right.
Why don't we come together and build a strong force,
Yeah.
go there and fight for a fair share or get what really we all deserve? Because if you go to an African market, there could be 3 or 5 women selling tomatoes.
That's right.
But they will all go home having
Happy.
Sold something.
That's right.
So there's enough for all of us.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about that.
Lizzie, we're going to be wrapping up. But while you were going through this last question, I was like, okay, she's going to take us back to the history of how slavery took place in Ghana and some of these places,
Right.
which is very close to you. But in wrapping up, what will be those expectations for our viewers around the things you do for your group, the brotherhood, sisterhood, community? What are you guys up to next, say, couple months, weeks down the road? And how can one reach you?
Okay. So if you go on Nova Scotia Health, first of all, and you type in the brotherhood or the sisterhood, it should come up easily, and you can call. There are numbers, and there's an email as well that you can send to us. In the coming months, we have what we call, for the men, we call the barbershop talks,
Okay.
where you can get a haircut and have a good discussion.
Would that be free?
It's always free.
I love that. I'm coming for it.
Yes, and then for the women, we have salon talks where we
Nice.
do nails and other things and have a good discussion as well.
Right.
And so look out for our programs in the community. We have a breast cancer support group.
Oh, nice.
So many things going on. So look on our website and
Awesome.
you get some
And
more
the
information.
seniors program. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Could have been a better place to live this. And I
Yes.
look forward to calling you back again to the studio to share some of these
Absolutely.
events with us and progress.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
All right, then. Elizabeth Obeng Nkrumah, a healthcare practitioner and leader of the Ghanaian community here in Nova Scotia. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel for more updates. You can also send us an email to communityupdateNS@gmail.com. I am Promise Okoy, and I will see you soon.
Community Update is brought to you with the support of the following organizations, businesses and individuals: Heritage Canada, Canadian Association of Community Television Users and Stations, Cactus, Bailey-O, M4 Media, Flenjor Foods, Sheyi Ajetamobi, and Shokoto.